Forward.
Shit. Oh my goodness.
Oh, shit.
Shit.
You're home very early.
What are you doing here?
I didn't see you there.
Welcome back.
Thanks. It's my fault. I fucking live here.
Welcome back to me, to this lovely setup.
Welcome
we got
back.
going
Thanks for
on.
buzzing out.
No worries at all. Hopefully we won't get fucking stopped by the mailman like last time.
That was good.
That was
Because that was my sunnies.
That was funny. Yeah, it was.
My running sunnies. I'm a runner. We're both runners.
We're both runners.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway, welcome.
Split Shift Pod.
Welcome to the Split Shift Pod, baby.
We're on.
And we're on for episode
10.
10.
This is a big deal.
This is a big deal.
It's actually a big deal.
Double digits, kind of.
Yuck. We're going to have to cut that.
Nah, we're gonna
Run with it.
roll with it.
Bro, what's your name?
My name's Daniel, also known as Darnell. What's your name?
Jamie or Jemima? My friends call me Jeff.
Yep.
We're about to play some chess.
We're about to play some chess.
Welcome to
and
Chess with Friends.
drop some more bombs for today's episode. So
Yes. Love a good
it's
bomb.
a good episode, and you know what? It's our 10th episode. Can't believe we've actually made it this far.
If we were
I'm
doing,
pretty stoked about
if
that.
this was, if I knew this was our 10th episode, I probably would have suggested us do a better one. But this is going to be good.
Yeah.
This will be very good.
If we just manifest it, we're on.
I fucking forgot to soak my crystals last night, and that's what I'm pissed about.
You fucking idiot.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, the whole
Anyway,
chakra's not aligned at all.
what are we talking about? Did we already say what we're talking about?
No, we haven't talked about it yet.
We haven't spoken about what we're about to speak about.
Yeah, and it took us this long.
Hold up. Timer's on. We are about to make this fast.
Speed run.
Speed
We're gonna
run.
talk about comparison.
You comparing yourself to others.
You comparing yourself to others.
Why it is potentially destructive,
Absolutely destructive.
and maybe why it might not be that bad. But who knows? You're about to find out, though.
Depends
That's
on
for
what it is.
sure. And it's Danny Vaz's move.
Let's go. So let's talk about comparison and let's talk. What is it? First off, we are at the end of the day, we're humans. We're social-based creatures. It is definitely in us that we are. You know, when
This is, first of all, this is very fucked up. This needs to be. Sorry, that's probably my bad.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, man.
You had double bishop over on the left. What is comparison?
What is comparison? Well, it's just like you're addressing a quality of about someone to your own,
Love that.
and that can be in a good way or a very negative way. That's what we're going to talk about today. Is it is that fork in the road on where comparison can be healthy, but also can be very destructive to goals. And a lot of the times that we see is destruction. It becomes more destructive with the goals. But tell us a little bit about your experience with comparison, especially with your clients.
Exactly that. I feel like the majority of people do compare themselves to others in a negative way, in a negative light.
Yeah.
And there's a famous quote. Danny Blaz came in with it as well. Comparison is a thief of joy. So who's that by?
Jordan Peterson.
Old mate Jordo. He's like, we're friends, so
Yeah,
call him
Peter.
Jordo. Pedo. I don't know if you call him Pedo.
Emphasis on the T. Pito.
Anyway, so probably scrap that quote.
We have to cut that out.
But we probably should. So it's exactly like Danny said, comparing a quality of yourself to that of another.
Yep.
And that can be in a positive way or a negative way. And the majority of people that we see do it in a negative way that's going to end up being destructive towards their goals, towards their progress, all that sort of shit. So how could somebody comparing themselves to others, give me an example of that. Give the people an example of that.
He's like, what's the point? You know, he's already like doing way better than me. I'm just, you know, I'm not going to bother anymore. I give up. That's like, I know it's pretty broad, but like that's one like a massive one, and that could be related to so many things, especially if you're like in the gym space, or you have a goal, or even on social media, when you say, or even professions, so many areas in your life, when you compare yourself in a negative light. We're talking about negative light at the moment.
Oh, just in general, like
general,
comparison. What would a say one of your clients, they're comparing themselves to somebody else at the gym. You know, what would that look like to them in their head?
Most likely is that they look so much better.
Yeah.
They look, they're so much stronger than me. I can't do that.
Yeah, lift them more weight.
Lift them more weight.
Make it look easy.
Yeah, they make it look easy, or like they look way better in that outfit than I would.
100%. They've been doing it for 6 weeks. Why do I look like shit?
Correct.
All that sort of shit. So you're comparing yourself to somebody else that is not you, and there's so many different elements that go into somebody's journey that goes into, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Absolutely.
But a big question is why? So obviously it's inevitable. Like it's going to happen. You're human. So it's not necessarily saying don't do it at all because that's it's not a realistic goal, and we're all about setting realistic goals because you are a human and more than likely you are a human, I assume. And you're probably going to do it even if you don't want to. So let's first get a handle on why we actually do it. Why is it so easy to do that?
Well, like you said yourself, I think it's definitely the path of least resistance to get you to reach a conclusion in some way, or actually could be even a great reference point if you're using it in a positive light too. But a lot of the time, it could be the path out of something that could take us to just lead us to no man's land, to no goal success, nothing like that. At least, especially to the negative side, we do that because, literally genetically, evolutionary, we always look to seek, look to seek better. We always want to seek more. And when someone's doing that, probably doing better, despite not knowing the context, we know that. Busting out the queen already.
Dude, I don't fuck around. We get the queen out straight away.
Hell yeah. So when we do that anyway, what was I going with that?
It's evolutionary.
Yep.
All that sort of shit.
And so it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So
yes.
Why do we do it? What else? What are you thinking?
We are constantly trying to value ourselves against whatever.
Sure.
We're used to being, like Danny said, evolutionary, whatever. We're pack animals. We're used to valuing ourselves against others to see where we are in the hierarchy of a group, and we're always craving being in a group. So if we're in that gym setting or we're in that sort of, you're out with your girls or out with your friends or whatever, you're constantly going to be comparing yourself, comparing your life, comparing your journey, comparing your results against that of your peers, to see where you stand in that, pecking order.
Yeah.
So, so particularly at the gym, but if it's like, say, you're comparing yourself to Jenny down the road who just got the brand new renos on her house and you're like, why aren't we doing that? It's going to, like that quote says, it's going to be the thief of your joy, outside of the gym. Now, when we're talking about getting a result inside the gym or a lifestyle change, whatever, thieving your joy or stealing your joy away is not necessarily the problem. The problem is it's going to take away your will to pursue that goal longer. But we'll talk about that in a second. So that's why we end up comparing. It's part of our DNA. It's part of what we're going to do. So trying to fight that and just say, girl, you don't compare yourself to anyone. You just do you. It's not realistic. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic. It's going to happen anyway. And it's a matter of just what you do with that information and also apply the right perspective on how to make yourself better within the pack, right?
Watch this though. Do us. See you later, mate.
Oh, I completely missed that.
I know. It was sitting there for ages. I thought you were trying to go queen for queen over here with a fucking rook. Not rook, the knight.
Yuck. Well, I'm going to take this now.
Take it. Yuck. Take it. And then we'll go shabanger. Let's go. We're carving Danny Blaz up right now.
I don't want to talk about it right now.
All right, what have we got next? We actually have a little whiteboard over in the corner now so we can have structure to our videos.
Amazing.
Because it's a little bit all over the place usually. So we know what comparison is. We know why we do it. Now we're going to chat about how it can negatively affect your goals. So we know that obviously comparing yourself makes you feel like shit. But let's say one of your clients came to you and said, oh, why is your other client fucking... Kate. I always say Kate or Jenna or Jenny.
Jenny's the one. 100%.
Why is Jenny? Jenny's only been here for 10 weeks. Why has she already lost 7 kilos? I've been trying this for a year. This sucks. Maybe it's just not for me. I think I just answered my own question. How could that negatively affect their goals and the results?
Well, it puts you at pretty much at a stalemate for your own progress because you're coming to this is bad. It's just coming
cleaning him up.
You're pretty much coming to a direct conclusion without having to address, like those what's and how's, like how to get better, like how can I improve myself in like in your own goals, stuff like that. Where it's just easier, the path of least resistance, to be able to say, you know what, why is she doing better than me? What the fuck's the point? And then it will most likely result in just see you later. Goal just stopped. Yeah, no goals, no goal pursuing anymore.
Yeah, literally. So they would be like, what's the point? I'm going to give up on my goals, do something else.
Exactly.
And then they jump from thing to thing to thing and never get anywhere.
Exactly. And it's a constant cycle, right? Because, when you initially, a lot of time, like we spoke about when it comes like in previous podcasts, is that when you start something, probably not that great at it. And then you're probably needing to get, into the groove of it, find your enjoyment, stuff like that. But then if you're going and comparing yourself to other people who we don't know their context, like, yeah, maybe like, might be like a client or someone that we know, but if we take it at face value, probably don't know what they've gone through, don't know what they've experienced. Probably don't know, understand the hurdles of what they went through to get to their journey to that point. And, it can almost be like a disservice to, if you're going to get a little blunt about it, it can be a disservice to them, but it also
Exactly right.
But it also can become a disservice to yourself to be able to not be able to, give yourself the opportunity to be able to find the, at least the, what's the word? The approach and the best approach or the solutions for you rather than just saying.
Yes, it's easy for them.
Very easy.
And exactly what you said. There's 2 points I want to fucking chat about what Danny just said. Firstly, don't devalue somebody else's efforts by saying something like, oh, it's just easy for them, they've got no kids, or it's easy for them, they've just got awesome genetics. Mm-hmm. Don't devalue them. We're going to talk about how to change that in a second, how to change your reflexes so you can still compare yourself to others or compare yourself to whatever and have the reflex be in a positive way. But there was another point that you said, which was around, everybody being on their own journey. And I feel like the majority of people that, are watching this or that we know in the gym, outside the gym, making progress, whatever, everybody's compared themselves to somebody else probably at least 5 times today. And I feel like when you think about it and you actually think about what is the point in me comparing myself to that person, in yourself that you are not the same as them. You know in yourself that you live different lives, you have different things going on. Yes, you may have more obstacles. They may have different obstacles. Everybody's on their own journey. So comparing yourself to them in a negative way is completely ridiculous. How could we switch that up and turn that into more of a positive way? Let's say one of your clients was, their progress was slow. And they're comparing themselves maybe even to somebody else that neither of you know in the gym. And they seem to be killing it. They're there every day. They might have kids, they might have a busy job, but they keep showing up. Sure. And they have that sort of tall poppy syndrome, like we're talking about, that jealousy and that comparative, like, they fucking just killing it. It's so hard for me. How could you switch that into a positive if you had to?
Or if it was, I like to use the analogy of like a model of a car for this one, because you're always referring back to yourself. And like Jimbo, like you said, everyone's journey is so different because so many things come into play with that. But if you feel like you're getting yourself trapped into your that fixed mindset like we spoke about before,
fixed mindset
of thinking just like, what the result just got for them. Personally, I like to use this car analogy. It may seem different for how you guys do it, is that you always want to compare your previous version of yourself, how far you've come, or what you've got to where you want to be. And rather than and that kind of takes the power away from why is it doing that? Why is it, about them? Like, what's it about them? You bring it back to yourself and say, well, okay, well, this person's probably done a lot. But I'm just like, but let's look back of what I've done. And you're referring back to when I'm talking about this model of a car, think of it like an upgrade. So it's like your past version of self, what were you like then? It was a model of this certain car, whatever. Now you're looking to upgrade to the next car. This is potentially where you are now. And you're actually just comparing yourself in a positive way to say, well, look at the steps that you've done to get to that upgrade for yourself. So it pulls it away from what other people are essentially doing, and you're bringing it back to yourself and just no, let's reflect. In reflection, essentially, just bring it back to yourself. That kind of answer your question a little bit?
100%.
Yeah.
There's two things and around that as well. Two ways you can go down that route. Exactly what Danny said. So bring it back to yourself. I think there's two people that you should compare yourself to. We'll talk about that real quick, and then we'll bring it back to how to actually switch, even comparing yourself to somebody else, into a positive. Two people that I believe you should compare yourself to. That is the person you were when you first started your journey.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so who were you? How did you live? How was your lifestyle?
Yep.
How did you eat? How did you exercise? How did you feel about exercise? What was your belief systems like? All the things that we've spoken about already in the past 9 podcasts, which you've definitely watched. Cool. So that's number one. Definitely compare yourself now to who you were at the start. The second person you can compare yourself to is the ideal version of yourself that you were committed to pursuing. Not the ladies that is just 20 kilos down and fucking 6-pack and whatever, but that lifestyle and identity-based goal that we spoke about in that previous podcast about goal setting. Comparing yourself to who you were at the start and who you ideally want to be. The version of you that you want to be, not the version of fucking Jenny, not the version of Katie, not the version of fucking Jim Bob or fucking, Tony.
The others and
all the other people.
And what that says so well, like, yeah, it's so perfect because you're having two reference points of like someone where you want to be, someone where you compare yourself with. So you bring in, at the end of the day, what we're looking to do is that we're taking the power back to you, back to yourself. And it gives you that like a healthy opportunity to either reflect or look forward to. So it ends up being a silver lining. Because at the end of the day, we know, like we talk about, comparison is always going to be there. It's always going to be there.
It's not going anywhere.
If we allow it, it will be the thief of joy if we compare to other people. But if it's like without context, we don't know what they're going through, it's going to reach no man's land. And worst case scenario, your goals are kaput. See you later. Like that's not what we're here for. So what we want to do is let's bring that back to us rather than thinking outside of like what was all these people doing, because that's the easy way out. Go back to one of our podcasts where you go for the path of least resistance. It's an easy way to compare ourselves, get a fixed mindset, have those blinders on, and just say, that's it. Like, I'm just going to fuck this because there's people that's going to be way better than me. When we just say, let's take it back to ourselves and say, hey, yeah, okay, maybe that person had an unreal journey here. Maybe they have, things have, been on their side. They've lost weight faster. They're probably adapted quicker, whatever it is. Sick. Cool. Now go back to you. How did you do? What about your past self? What about where you are now? But most importantly, like just as importantly so, where's that future self? Where's that person you want to go? That version of yourself. It's so important. And yeah, so that is like, I guess, where we look at when we start to shift around that what's it called? Find the silver lining of comparison rather than saying, I'm like, here's a negative fork in the road that takes us to, like we said, no man's land, but we're also looking at, okay, let's find the way to make it best for us and use it, bringing that power back so you can use that as motivation to keep you moving forward.
Definitely. Before we move on, I still need you to fucking move because I'm about to smoke your ass so badly, dude. Like,
I want to do this.
You're getting so smoked.
I know.
But they're the two people that you should be comparing yourself to. And also, anywhere along that journey to where you ideally want to be, any day along the way. So, okay, cool. Where was I at the start? Compare yourself daily to that. Then where am I going to be tomorrow? Where am I going to be in a week? Where are we going to be in a month? Compare yourself to that along that line because that's going to keep you moving forward. Don't negatively compare yourself to the other person at the gym. The way we could switch that around from negative to positive, use it as inspiration. Praise them up, hype them up, be like, they've done so well. I'm so excited by that. That means that they're human. They're running their own race, but that gets me amped to see that I can actually do that as well because I am a human. And that's all it is. Comparison is not going anywhere, and there's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be somebody doing better than you at the gym. There's going to be somebody leaner than you. There's going to be somebody fitter than you. There's going to be somebody smarter than you. Unless you're Danny Blaz and I, we're the smartest people in this room at least, because there's nobody else here.
Best chest player.
Yeah.
I'm saying best at the moment.
Yep. So it's always going to be somebody doing better than you. So comparison's not going anywhere. It's about how you handle that. Are you going to handle that in a negative way and try to cut them down and make yourself feel shit? Or can you actually switch that, use comparing them as motivation and compare yourself to yourself, who you were and who you ideally want to be. I think the whole thing about, like, there's a big push on don't compare yourself to others. You know, you just got to do your own thing. Don't even look at anybody else at the gym. It's not fucking realistic.
No,
It's not realistic. It's not going to happen.
And you know what? Like, when you start to really like kind of break that mold a little bit around comparison and kind of not be so afraid to, you know, kind of like say like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna, if you have that, allow to be, you know, to compare yourself. I guess in a positive way at this point, you really start to, really start to embrace the opportunity of like exactly what you said. You know, like these person have done it. These person have done it. Like they're living proof that they are able to do these things. They're human. Why can't I? Why can't I just do the same thing? And so good you said that. There is always gonna be something better. Sorry, like
There is.
That's it. Like,
No matter how good you are, unless you're Usain Bolt and you.
it's Usain Bolt. But if you like look at it like from the point of like everything, you know, there's probably more successful people out there, wealthier, fitter, stronger. Like there's no point thinking of just like, well, you know, like I'm gonna be trying to be the best of the best. Because chances are it's probably not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. And anybody that thinks they're the best, they're probably full of shit, for one, and also just egotistical maniacs. Like,
Yeah, you don't want that.
let's be real. There's always somebody better. There's always somebody better.
So-
Except for podcasting, we're obviously the best.
Clearly.
Even though it's just on YouTube at the moment. But,
It's gonna be on Spotify soon.
yes,
It's gonna be on Spotify soon.
yes. That's
So-
it. So we ran through what is comparison.
What is comparison? Why do we do it? And
Yep.
it is obviously part of us. It is ingrained in us. How can it also negatively, but also positively,
Or positively.
can be impact you?
And how we can switch that between the two.
Exactly.
You got that?
Yep. And
And
the last
then-
one is,
How should you compare?
how should you compare yourself?
And who should you compare yourself to?
Exactly.
Who?
Yourself, mate. Your
Yourself.
past self and the person you want to be.
Ideally.
Ideally.
All that shit by now should be on paper. You can review that daily, weekly, all that sort of shit.
Yep.
Just make sure you're constantly seeing where you are along that line and be okay with that and be excited for the journey, you know, and let other people motivate you rather than having that idea that they can cut you down and make you feel like you're not doing very well.
Absolutely.
You know, and also make you want to do better, you know, let them, their success build you up and make you push towards doing better. That's 21 minutes. Let's wrap this fucking shit up. What do you reckon?
I think so too. Last quote, remember it. It is a banger. Comparison is the thief of joy. So if you ever get filled in that fixed, like, you know, mindset and you're like, I'm struggling to really get out of it. You're really just like hard to rationalize at the moment. Just remember the quote. Comparison is the thief of joy. It is, remember, it can be destructive
Check.
if you allow it to.
I reckon that we wrap this video up,
Because I don't want to lose.
but check again. We're going to wrap this video up for you guys, but I reckon let's keep this filming and we'll speed run this until the end of the game. So it'll be like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't want to.
You don't do that? Hold on. There's fucking Rook.
Dude, this is bad.
Fucking roasted.
I'm getting fucking.
Yeah. Nice.
Let's check.
Nice, dog. That's exactly the move I did on you before.
yeah.
That's good. Fucking send something. Let's go.
It's not good.
Dude, the timer's on. Dude, I can't move there. It's a fucking
I
L.
realize that.
What? Check. Checkmate.
Yeah, checkmate. Wow.
Checkmate. There you go. Game over. Thanks for watching.
See you next week, mate.